Okay, the next in the next video, what I would like to do is I'm going to show you how to test the whole rig, the whole MQTT path from, let's say, a device from your computer. Basically, just be able to send out messages and receive messages, see them travel through the broker, and I will also explain a little bit how this relates to the IoT device that the other half of your pair should be building now. So for this exercise, I will need you to download this thing called MQTT Explorer. This is a free piece of software, open source, written, as we can see here, by Thomas Nordquist. Happy IoT hacker, I see. And over here you have for all available platforms. I guess many of you are on the Mac. You have direct access to the DMG here. I personally have it already installed. So take this moment now to download these. And I will drag my version, so my local install here on the screen. So once you have downloaded it, you can just run it, and over here you can see that I can create a new connection. So I'm going to do that. If you remember correctly, I called my server gen-x, right? Which also changes my host name. So the host name is basically the cloud instance, the name of the cloud instance. And over here, I created, whoops, went away. My token, I created one for the desktop. That's basically a token that I created specifically for this program. So I'm gonna click on this token. This is a bit of a UI screw up, I guess, or the way that they like to do it in Shifter. So here I can select this connection string, but if you want to have the full password, either you click and you select this substring where the password is, or you just click on the name and then just select the password from here. That's I guess somebody thought this was handy. Gen-x, and I'm gonna paste my password there. So that's the password that I just got from Shifter. And if everything is correctly set up, here in the protocol you can see that Shifter gives us also an MQTT protocol. So that's the part of the URL that specifies the protocol, like for example http:// etc. But MQTT happens to use this. So we don't have to change anything there. That's the username, which is always the name of our instance, and the password that we just got from the token. And if everything went well, I'm going to save that. If everything went well, I'll connect. And yeah, it seems that the connection was successful. Let me set up my screen in a way that is a bit easier to run both things simultaneously and get you to see the results. Right. So this is more like a test bed to understand a bit how MQTT works, all right? So over here, now that I'm connected to the server, I have the option of disconnecting here, but here it says basically connection health online, so that indicates that I'm connected. And I can subscribe. So I can subscribe to messages that come in, but there are no messages coming in just yet. Or I can publish. In my case, I'm going to publish something. I'm going to call this team 2, and then just these are the types of data that you can send. We are going to be working with raw data, and if I just click in publish now, you see on the left-hand side how the message just went through, and not only did it get sent. So what happened just now is that this app, MQTT Explorer, sent a message to this server in the cloud that received it, routed it back to the same MQTT Explorer. So MQTT Explorer is both acting as a publisher and a subscriber. And I can do this, and if I click multiple times, this message just gets repeated. If I change the number, you see how this 270 is also featured here. It basically says this is the last message that was received. This is the average of messages per second that the broker is handling. This tells you how many devices are connected or how many clients. In this case, it's just the MQTT Explorer. But eventually, when your colleague is done with the IoT device, if you connect with MQTT Explorer, you should be able to see here 2 connections. And when more of your colleagues, of your classmates get connected to the same GenX server, you should be able to see many more connections here. And this is just the name of the client that is currently connected, which is MQTT Explorer. This is it's basically telling the broker is telling us which clients are connected, and if there are any errors. The connection, as you can see, remains open. If I now change this number to be 100 or I don't know, 1,000, it doesn't matter, just any number, you can see how this last message also changes value. So at any given time, what we see here is a representation of the last message that was sent around. And that's it. If I change the topic to, say, team 3, you will see that, hey, a new path has opened up. Let's change that to team 4, and hopefully, since each one of you pairs will have a different topic name, they can be routed to different locations. In this visualization, you can drag the nodes around to make it a little bit easier to. Can you? Yes, but that seems to be okay. Never mind. So as you can see now, because I'm sending this to the topic team 4, is being routed from my MQTT Explorer into the broker, out onto team 4, out to servo, because that's the second half of our topic. So as you can see, every division that we do with a /, so with a path indicator, creates a branch here. So if I, for example, now create another path called servo 2, you will see that on team 4. If I now drag out team 4 a little bit, I cannot seem to be able to drag this out. I think maybe there is a div covering it. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, servo team 4, sorry, has 2 paths, whereas team 3 has only 1 path, and team 2 has only 1 path. So depending on how many subtopics we generate, I can generate another subtopic like servo 4. Delay, for example, if I wish to do that, and then just send that value. Immediately you can see that now servo 4 has another subtopic called delay. And our clients, any other client, will be able to subscribe to any of these nodes, any of these, and get all the messages that are circulating through it. If I subscribe, let's say, to servo 4, then I'm going to get the delay messages, but if I create another one such as angle, for example, here, you can see that now there is another leaf in our tree, one for delay, one for angle. So if I subscribe to angle, I will only get the messages that go to angle, but if I subscribe to servo 4, I will get all the messages that go to servo 4. And that's how you can send messages to the little IoT device that your colleague is making. Now I'm going to clear this now. So here with the trash can, you can just delete the history of messages. The connection remains open though, because this thing is still connected. The moment I disconnect, if I click on disconnect now, you see almost in real time the visualization on the cloud server. The connection goes away. And I reconnect and it reappears there. Okay. I want to show you now, once your colleague is done with the IoT device, I want to show you what you can use for testing with them. So they can do this themselves, but they are busy building the circuit right now. So you are following this part of the course. Of course, all this material is online, so you can always watch each other's material. It's not a problem. But I want to show you how you can test with them if everything is right on their end. I will switch to this. So over here you should be able to see now on the right hand side. So you are not going to see everything. Let's see. I prefer to keep it like this. I mean, you've already seen what the MQTT Explorer does. In fact, I'm going to take it off screen. You really don't need to see this. All I want you to see is basically the broker, the active broker. I'm going to make this a little smaller, and then to see what actually happens in the bench with my IoT device prototype. I will simply drag this here just for a moment so that you can see what message I'm sending. First thing I'm going to do is plug my device because it's not plugged yet. Okay, so now my IoT device should be soon connecting to Wi-Fi. And in a few seconds it should be able to receive messages. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare the message here. Remember also to tell this to your colleague. Please have your device connected before we run this test. And then by default, the IoT device is configured so that it understands this topic. So that this topic is what the device subscribes to. You will have to change in the code the name of your team so that only messages that are basically meant for your IoT device go there. Otherwise, it will go to all other devices, which can be fun. Maybe it's worth experimenting with your all the groups in your generation to see what happens when everybody subscribes to everybody else's messages. But for now, for the purpose of this demo, all I want to do is just basically send a raw message here. So my team, servo, format raw, and over here what I'm going to do is just change the angle of the servo. I'm going to set it to 90 to begin with, and then I publish. And that's because the IoT device is not listening to this server. It's listening to staging. So that's also something you have to change. But you know what? Actually, this is good that it shows in the video because I can show you how to go back to the other one. So I'm going to close this one, open the other instance. So basically the little IoT device is expecting messages in this other instance, staging, which is the one that I've been using for developing this example. You will be using, allow request, yes, okay. So over here you can see already the device is actually broadcasting the 3 sensors. So here we have my team, light, sensor 1, sensor 2, and sensor 3. From MQTT Explorer now, I think I had a token for this. I'm not sure if I lost it. Yeah, okay. I will go again to tokens. I had one token here for the Explorer. I will just copy that, cancel, and then I'm going to change the server here to be staging. Over here again, staging, and over here again, staging. And I'm going to paste the password. I want to save that and connect. I'm not sure why it's not saving them. Okay, so as you can see, there is now another node up here, another connection. So we have our little Arduino. Look at how the traffic of messages goes. So we have our microcontroller here sending messages out, the broker receiving those. Those messages are routed through all the different topics, and then this Explorer is basically subscribing to all the topics in that server. So I'm getting all the messages here. So over here you see this is the current reading of the sensors. Perhaps interesting would be Let's see, there was a way of visualizing this. History, my team server, stats, there was a way of visualizing this. I'll check that later. All I want to do now is basically just demo the servo thing, right? So I'll show you this back again. So because I'm subscribed with this MQTT Explorer to that broker, this one is getting the light levels. So as you can see, the numbers changing. There's also a way to visualize them as a graph. We'll look at that later. I think it's here. Yeah, you can see the levels as a graph. So this is basically visualizing the sensor readings of, I guess, your partners. So the person on the other half of your pair, the room light levels. You find now, you see, if I block light to the light sensors, you get a different reading. So this is working in real time. It's already working as an IoT sensor. So whenever you run this MQTT Explorer and subscribe to these topics, you are going to be reading in real time the light levels from that specific location. And now what I'm going to do is just send a message that I have prepared here, and I'm going to drag this window away so that you can see the message traveling back from the MQTT Explorer all the way to the Arduino, and hopefully the result in the Arduino window, in the circuit video feed. There you go. So I just sent a 90, you see? I'm gonna keep that. Can I make this a little smaller? Not too much going on. As a teacher trying to teach online, this is a new experience every day. Team servo, so that was angle 90. If I change the angle here to be 120, let's see what happens. Let's pay attention to the video feed coming from the bench. Whoops, there you go. That's almost actually this is minus 30, so it seems like a 90-degree angle with what it just did, even though I put 120. So I'm not sure if there is a bug there, or it's just that it counts from 0. If I do 270 now and publish, you see it goes a bit further. In fact, it goes all the way out of the image. I can click a bunch, and then it will kind of keep repeating that action for until it consumes all the messages. Perhaps interesting to see also is that the broker, while the servo is moving, our IoT device actually can do nothing else but move the servo. So the outgoing messages from the IoT device stop. You see that? So when I move the servo, they stop for like 2 seconds, and then they restart once the servo is back into the 0 position. That's it. Let's try smaller angles so that we keep the arrow on screen. There you go. That's a 30. Again, let's try a 60, and I think you get of course what's going on. 70, 90. And so on. And you can, right now, there's a GUI for this, so I'm typing the values in, but you could theoretically write another script. In fact, that's what we're going to do. Write scripts that send back and forth these MQTT messages to generate actions, reactions in remote locations. And yeah, this video is a bit longer than the first. I think it shows a full workflow, test workflow using MQTT Explorer. And it also shows you how this functions with the device. I hope that this is inspiring, that it triggers some thoughts already in what could potentially be possible with this, and that yeah, you go out and make something cool with it. Thanks, see you in the next video.